morning, y'all. I'm at an unload and I'm having a little bit of a stressful experience, which is pretty frequent because I will just say this. I was just reflecting on what it means to hustle and how different people with different jobs have different mentalities about hustle. And I was like, I'm trying to always come back to compassion because a lot of people who haven't had the kind of experiences I've had don't understand hustle the way that I do. Because when you've been a bartender in Chicago in really high volume venues, as I have, you have a completely different mindset about like getting a job done. And especially when you know that someone else is depending on you, it's a different type of like mental shift where you're like, okay, I gotta fucking move my ass, you know? And there's a pride in it. There's a sense of pride in it. So the stores that I'm delivering to, you can hear me getting unloaded right now. I decided to come into my truck. I actually ran into the store to buy some groceries because the lady was like, well, you might as well just take a nap. It's going to be a while. And I was like, fuck. I was like, I wish I could just drop and hook. And conversely, I wish I could unload my own truck. And I know a lot of jobs, you do your own unloading, and that's, you know, sometimes it's like too much physical labor. But as you know, if you've followed me at all, physical labor is kind of my jam. So that wouldn't bother me that much because it would offset the amount of time sitting, which is fucking messing up my body already a lot. I was just thinking about this time a few years ago. There's this thing in the Chicago area called the Gentleman's Ride, and it's a motorcycle ride where a whole bunch of people show up on their bikes and they're all dressed up, and it's really cool. They like dress super dapper, and it's usually like there'll be couples dressed up. They're both dressed up together, and sometimes there was a guy I waited on who had his daughter with him, and they were both dressed up, and it was really cute, you know. It was really sweet. I have memories of riding with my stepdad in the Toys for Tots run. I guess I was in high school. It wasn't like whatever. It was a long time ago. Who am I kidding? Anyway, there was this experience at the Gentleman's Ride where in the morning it was me and another bartender, and there's supposed to be 600 attendees, or like maybe, I think there was supposed to be fewer than that, but it ended up being like 600 people. And in the morning there wasn't as many, and they were sort of trickling through, but you were busy, and it was me and another bartender who were both pretty on the ball. So we wait on everybody. It's all Bloody Marys and shit. The people leave, go on their ride, and come back. But by the time they come back after this few hours of riding, it's me, and I'm alone because this girl's shift has ended, and they all show up at once. And there were hundreds of people, and it's me alone behind a bar. And I think I had a bar back. I'm sure I had a bar back. He was totally helping me. Otherwise I would have been fucked. But you don't know pressure until you have hundreds of eyes staring at you, waiting for drinks. And I love that shit. It's terrifying, but I love it because I'm like, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? I'm like fucking banging it out. And then there's these people that are stupid that use credit cards. It's like, why the fuck didn't you bring cash? Have you not looked around you? And then there's like the guy that asks for his drink ahead of someone else, and guess who I prioritize? The other person. I used to love that shit. It's like anybody who tries to cut the line, guess what? Someone else who's like, he can go first. The person who said he could go first gets a free drink if I can, you know, that kind of shit. That was a crazy experience. That was one of the most intense bartending experiences I've had because it was just me. I should get back in the store because hopefully they're done unloading me now, but that's what hustle is. Hustle is when you have like dozens of eyes staring at you that all want something from you, and you know that they are watching your every move and assessing you. And like my favorite thing in those situations is to hear someone go, damn, she is fast. That's my goal. Like, or have someone say, you're doing an awesome job. Like when people say that, you're like, thank you. What do you want? So anyway, this job is fucking crazy and stupid, and I don't like it, but I'm not trying to be negative. I want to go back to fucking flatbedding. I would much rather be doing that than this bullshit. Just saying. Good morning from my yoga mat. I managed to find myself a secluded spot on our lot to park where I can sort of get away with, quote unquote, doing yoga. There's so much I want to say, and I'm like trying to censor myself. I guess let me just sum it up by saying this. I have wanted for a really long time to write a memoir. That's something that is a major goal in my life, and I'm a talented writer, and I don't like to toot my own horn too much, but that's one thing I know about myself that is true. I have experienced enough in such a short time to really want to share the story on behalf of other truck drivers, especially these long-term truckers who get such a fucking raw deal. And so obviously my perspective is highly biased, but I want to talk about what goes on and what these companies are getting away with and how crazy it is to me. And I just want to try my best to illustrate that. So on this channel, I'm sort of trying to do that on a small scale. But yesterday was a really intense day. I made it back to the yard and parked the trailer that I had with 1 minute left on my 14-hour clock. And that was with running I had 5 drop-offs yesterday, 2 separate loads, and I ran at 3 or 4 of those stops because no one would answer the door at the back. And I knew from the time I had my first load that if I didn't run, I knew I was going to need to shave minutes off my clock by running, because the staff in these stores is so inept so much of the time. And I also am just like thinking back to what I was like when I was a teenage employee, and I'm like, I mean, I wasn't always terrible, but some of the time I was really fucking terrible. And now I'm like, this is your fucking karma, your karmic comeuppance, if you will. Man, some of these kids kill me. There's a few stores that I go to that the people are on point, and you're like, thank God. You're like, thank God. You mean you're here to do a job? You actually want to unload a truck? Oh my God, where did you come from? And then you have all these other people that look like they just fell off the truck, the turnip truck, if you know what I'm saying. I feel so mean when I say stuff like that. I always try to come from a place of compassion, but I've been struggling to find it these last couple of days. It unnerves me to no end. One of the things that happens all the time, and it happens to me and other drivers, is when you arrive at these stores, you back into your dock, you go hit the buzzer, and you hear someone, you can hear them directly on the other side of the door moving stuff around, and they don't say anything to you because that person isn't the person with the key to the door, but they're just silent. They just ignore you. They must know you can hear them. And it's so just, it's like, be a human being. Be like, hey, we're getting somebody. Don't just act like you didn't hear it when I can fucking blatantly hear that you're back there, like you're on the other side of the door I'm standing on. Yeah, so I don't know how some of these unfit truckers do this. That's what I keep thinking about. I'm like, some of these guys can barely walk. How do they get any loads done? How do they get more than 1 load in a day? I have no idea. They must have some kind of magic that I'm not aware of, because I literally have to run to the front of the store, which sometimes is a decent distance. And then I run through the store, which I don't like to do. It's unprofessional, but I also don't give a fuck because I need every minute I can get. So yesterday was a day started the day with almost no fuel because I was in such a huge rush the day before that I should have stopped for fuel, and I didn't, which is a huge no-no. You never want to run out of fuel in a truck, let's put it that way. I ran down to 1/8 of a tank, which when I was idling was showing 1/16 of a tank, and the warning was popping up, and I was like, fuck. I made it to a fuel stop that's like 17 miles away from us the next morning yesterday. So I was stressing because I had like no fuel. I started my day with this fuel stop. Then all day long, I'm having to stop and pee like 1,000 times. It was just one of those days. I was trying to hydrate better, and it was like backfiring. I didn't even drink a crazy amount of caffeine or anything. It was just like hitting me all fucking day long. And it was stressful because like every time it was a situation where I had to hold it because I was in a rush and I didn't have time. And like, this is trucking. This is what it is, man. And then these stores and these fucking terrible goddamn employees that I want to slap, be like, don't you know what a sense of urgency is? Like, what is wrong with you? And then at the end of the day, I am cranking trying to get back in time. And I drop that trailer and I have to crawl through the lot at 3 miles an hour to get to my nice little secluded spot, which thankfully was here. So now I'm going to do some yoga. But yesterday was a day that made me go, my body is fucked right now. I'm in pain all the time. My hips are fucked. My back is fucked. Tried going to physical therapy the other day. That was a bust. I'm not going to be continuing with that here. It's that's another long story. I'm exhausted. I'm going nonstop for 14 hours. I don't have time for self-care. This is a fluke. The only reason I have this time right now is because I mistakenly set my availability a little earlier than my clock will actually allow. So I have a few extra minutes. So I thought I would film and do a few minutes of yoga, but it feels frivolous. Everything you do for yourself when you're on this schedule feels frivolous, which is bullshit. You should still be able to take care of yourself and have some kind of a life and make a living. And trucking does not allow for that unless you are in certain niches, which most of us are not. I love watching fluffy bumblebees do their thing. I know this is shocking, but I am headed out to the lake, motherfuckers. I'm quite exhausted and having a hard time with my moods. I'm having a hard time with working so many hours and feeling, I don't know, I'm just down. Exhaustion brings me down sometimes. So feeling like kind of isolated and sad and having weird dreams, and partly having weird dreams because I've been listening to Morbid so much. I almost want to tell you about the dream I had, but it was too disturbing, so I'm not gonna. But anyway, yeah, headed out for a paddle session and enjoying being back home for a couple of days. And the weather is gorgeous today. It's like, for a change, it's not super hot. It's in the 70s. It's a little bit windy. I'm dealing with a decent amount of pain. My back hurts every day now, which has been hard mentally to cope with, because it's like, oh, now I have new pain and it's new lingering pain, and I'm currently working between 60 and 70 hours a week, and I'm making what would boil down in hourly to less than minimum wage. So I'm really struggling, and I'm really trying hard and digging deep to keep my positive energy going without going into toxic positivity territory, because that's a thing that doesn't really help either, right? I'm looking at other options, this isn't permanent. I just have to keep reminding myself of that. Good evening. Just a little end of day video from inside my truck. I am very exhausted, and one of the things that I would like to talk about is the idea of having to be on a schedule where I most of the time not able to get enough sleep, and the idea of like safety theater, where I work for a company that's like totally promoting safety, like that's their whole brand, but the way that things are structured makes things like sleep difficult, if not impossible, to get enough. And so that is like one of the primary things that will affect your ability to drive safely on the road. But at the moment, I just want to share with you, so I'm not one of those annoying, only eats healthy food kind of people. Trust me, I'm not that. I just wanted to show you what I'm having for dinner, which is reheated Lou Malnati's pizza. I'll tell you exactly what my order usually is. It's a medium, deep dish, of course, butter crust, of course. If you're ordering Lou Malnati's, I need to heat this up a little bit more. With the butter crust, well done, uncut, so that the crust will stay a little bit crispier and it won't you want to order your pizza uncut if you're taking it home or having it delivered, and then cut it at home. And I order it with spinach on half and with sausage on the other half, and it's really fucking delicious. And yesterday I decided to have that in the middle of the day, and so when I was at a stop, I just nuked some up real quick, and then I put it where I would be able to grab it and eat it while I drove. And I fucking felt like I was gonna need to take a nap after about a half hour after eating that. So I realized, you know what? I need to retool my daytime eating, because this can knock me out now. That's fine. But when I have to drive, deep dish pizza is not the right answer. So I just want to share that with you. I'm a big fan of comfort food. I don't think it's the healthiest thing for me to be eating or the ideal thing, but it's just the reality of one of the things that I like to eat. So I just thought I would share with you, so you don't think I'm just like living on, baby carrots and whatever. I have a diversified palate, I guess we'll say. Anyway, that's about it. I'm tired. I'm going to turn this off, finish watching some shit on YouTube, read my book a little bit. I'm reading, ta-da. I really love Stephen King. I didn't start reading his books, except for I had read Christine, when I was in high school or something. And then I just started reading his books recently when I got back into the habit of daily reading, which was coincidentally with when I quit smoking weed. Not coincidentally, that's sarcasm. I fucking love his writing because it's so funny and clever, and I just his personality is so quirky, and you can hear it in everything he writes. So I'm enjoying this book so far. I was scared to read it for a long time. Now that I'm listening to all this true crime shit that's 1,000 times worse than anything that could be in a book, I'm way less afraid. So anyway, that is my evening. I'm tired. Good night. Good evening. I'm at my neighborhood Whole Foods aka whole paycheck. That's not funny anymore because we all know it, but it's still very accurate. And I just wanted to film a little bit because I haven't been filming at all, and I swear I have more than one shirt, but every time I'm filming I happen to be wearing my Ear Hustle shirt. Just got back home for my time off, and I stopped at Whole Foods to treat myself, and I just wanted to share this as an illustration of how whenever I'm bitching about money, bear in mind, there's the L behind me, that's the red line. Bear in mind that I make poor financial decisions, and that's part of the reason why I have money issues. So it's not just that I work really hard for low pay, it's also on me, so I own that shit. But anyway, just a couple things to share with you. Pretty much every time I come home, I pick up a 6-pack of my favorite NA beer, which is the Claw Grapefruit. To me, it's almost like, I was filming just as someone walked up to put their groceries away. It's almost like a grapefruit soda that's not super sweet. I love it. And, you know, I like other NA beers, but that's the one I tend to go for. So I just wanted to like share, this is what $50 at Whole Foods looks like. And I have no business spending $50 at Whole Foods. But when I come home and I've been working my ass off, I feel like I can justify treating myself. So I bought food at the hot bar. I bought a salad at the salad bar. I bought a bath bomb that is a good muscle soak, which I've used before. It's really good, but it's like a $6 bath bomb. I guess they all are these days. What else did I get in there? I got a mask because I'm gonna take a bath with my bath bomb and a mask. And my skin is angry because it's been muggy and gross, and I'm in dirty environments all the time. Can't keep my fingernails clean ever. It's super annoying. And what else did I get? Let me look. That car left. Here's my bag. Oh, and this soap, which I think is it's not the goat's milk soap, but it's this brand Pacha that they sell at Whole Foods, and it's so good. This is my bath bomb. These work really good. I like this company's stuff. And then this is one of my favorite kombuchas. It's the Sacred Life, and it's blue because of algae. It's actually like blue-green algae that gives it the color, and it tastes like cream soda to me. I friggin' love it. And my mask. So this is how I treat myself in my home time, by spending money on things that I shouldn't. On my little trip home, I'm just a few minutes away from my apartment, and I think I am going to get a quick paddleboard session in tonight before the sun goes down. I'm really tired, but I think I'm just going to push through because it's really hot out, and I'm sure the water will be nice, and I need some movement in my life. So welcome back to Shy. Yay. As it turns out, I am going on a paddle sesh before the sun goes down. I don't have that much time, but my body hurts and I'm really tired. And sometimes that's like the time that you actually want to try to do something physical because it'll revive you. So it's like a natural pain reliever. So that's what I'm going for. I just barely made it out in time to catch the sunset. I'm only gonna be able to be out here for like a few, but it's worth it. It's worth the hassle. I wish the water was a little colder because I think I'm gonna have to jump in. I don't know. Look at this. Look at this sky. Look how gorgeous this is. How could you miss it? You know? Yeah, I drove for like, I don't know, 9 hours today or something, which isn't crazy long, right? Could have been a lot longer, but yeah, this is worth the hassle of going and getting my board and carrying it over to the lake for just a short little jaunt. And for a good old Lake Michigan baptism. Ready? 1, 2. Yeah, that's the stuff. It could be colder, but still recording, so we'll see what that looks like. Good times. Oh, it feels so good. It's so nice to get away, man. I love it here. So yeah, did you guys catch that? That was the very moment where I said goodbye to my favorite sunglasses, and I'm laughing to myself because I just bought a pair to replace them that isn't quite right. And I had said this in another video, and I don't know if it made it past the edit, but those were free from Lollapalooza for some like promotion thing last year when I worked Lala, and I'm working it again this year in a couple of weeks. And of course, you know, I'm gonna do a little filming while I'm there. I'm super stoked because fucking Metallica is playing there, and I will have a vantage point where I will be overlooking the main stage. Of course, while Metallica's playing, I will probably be pouring about 5,000 Tito's and soda with a splash of cran, because that's the most creative drink and everybody loves it for some fucking reason. That, or maybe some random beers, or some White Claws, or whatever the equivalent is at Lala this year. Anyway, yeah, said goodbye to my sunglasses, and you saw the very moment where it happened. And that is why my phone is in a waterproof case that floats. What a doofus. Anyway, what a maroon. That's an oldie for you. For some of you. Some of yous. Isn't it beautiful? Aren't you glad I brought you with me? Yeah, right? How about it? Let's paddle some more. Too bad I don't have a GoPro on my board. Someday I will, and then I will take video of film. Oh my God, words. I will film a paddle sesh so you can see what it actually looks like, because I actually do more than just stand here and talk to my phone. That was the best decision. I feel so much better. I feel refreshed. I'm trying to be quiet because there's a gentleman over here reading something on the beach and enjoying a moment. The vibes here are awesome. It's like families and couples and kids and randos, and people are just enjoying themselves. And it's a, what's tonight? Monday? Today Monday? Yeah, it's a Monday night. And that's what's so cool about the summer here. I feel dramatically better after getting in the water. And I'm about to go home and continue the water therapy with a nice bath and a mask. And that kind of stuff makes me feel spoiled, because it's such a luxury to do those things. These are the reasons why, like, the idea of going over the road is so challenging for me, because these are the things that I love to do to sort of decompress, and I won't have access to these things, at least not very often, if I decide to go over the road. It would be like a rarity. It would be staying at a hotel, or it would be like staying with a friend. So that's why that's such a tough decision for me. I just want you to see this beautiful sky over my shoulder. Isn't it so nice? Oh my God, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And as for the sunglasses thing, what's funny is, like, I just bought a pair of sunglasses, and to try to replace those, because they were needing to go because they're so scratched up, and I'm like, well, the lake has them now. And it was making me think of, have you guys seen, there's a famous clip of a politician, I'm forgetting who he is, but I think I remember, but I'm not totally sure. And he's like taking his glasses off, but he's not actually wearing glasses, but it's like he goes all in. Like, he starts to do it, and he just like, okay. And he just like, and it's hilarious. And I had a moment with these glasses like that recently, because these glasses were so light that I would like forget they were on my face, especially if the light was a certain way. It's like I just got so used to having them on all the time. They're gone now. So I had just bought a pair to replace them, and if you watch in one of my recent videos, it's when I'm like walking in my neighborhood, and if you have a good eye, you'll notice that my sunglasses switch from one scene to the next, and it's because I had bought the new ones. I tried them on, just didn't quite like them. My eyes are super sensitive, and I'm very particular about sunglasses, and those ones needed to go, but now I need to find good replacements. So I was literally looking at sunglasses on Amazon today while I was getting unloaded, so the timing works, you know. Look at that sky. It's awesome. Summer in Chicago, baby. You can't beat it. Hello again. It's the view through the steering wheel. I'm sitting in the parking lot at my local Cermak, and I just finished my grocery shopping for the week. Also, a couple more splurges today, or at least one more. I bought myself a pair of running shoes, which I haven't done that in so many years because I pretty much stopped running for a long time because of injuries. I started running a little bit recently when I was in training, staying at a hotel where there was a treadmill, and what I realized is I don't have very many days where I have enough time at the end of my work shift to run, or energy for that matter, but I figure on because we have some longer days still this year, it would be really good for me if I can get myself to even go for a short, like 15-20 minute run, anything, just to get myself moving. I'm concerned about how the hours of sitting impact my circulation. So I'm excited to try these new running shoes out. I haven't even asked if it's okay for me to like run off the property, which I don't think it should be an issue, but it's kind of weird because it's the type of environment where there's trucks and cars and you have to go through a guard shack, and you would never see someone just like walking on foot because there aren't really safe areas like sidewalks, you know, for people to just walk on. But there are no available exercise facilities, and it's not like you're going to jog around a yard where people are driving trucks and like yard drivers are like zooming around. So I can't imagine they would tell me I can't do it. So hopefully it'll be okay. I just imagine, like, no matter how tired I am, like on some days where I've been done after only like 10 hours or 12 instead of 14, and I have started early enough so there's some daylight left, and I'm inclined to just take a shower and hit the bunk. But like if I can motivate myself to do just a little bit of exercise, it'll just do my heart so much good and do my body good. And sometimes I think you got to do that to push through. So I'm going to try to make that happen this week with my new running shoes. And I'm so excited. It's really exciting to get new running shoes. It's always a splurge. I didn't get any crazy expensive ones. The other big splurge on my downtime was that I went and got a massage. There is a Chinese massage chain in the Chicago area called Foot Smile Spa, and it's like Chicago and like surrounding suburbs. And I got a 90-minute massage. It's really inexpensive, but the downside is that their massage, the person who is at the desk who you pay and you like arrange the massage with, they speak English, but most of the therapists do not speak English. So there's limitation there because you have to sort of like convey things to them without, you know, a lot of speech, but it's usually fine. And they do a fucking awesome job. Oh my God, this guy did an amazing job. 90 minutes. I fucking felt like I was in a trance when he was working on my feet and lower legs for the first like 40 minutes. It was incredible. There's aspects of it that are painful, but then it feels meditative, that style of massage. And I think it's, they do like trigger point therapy and some other things. I think that the massage styles are based in Chinese medicine, so they're a little different that way. You know, where trigger points on the feet are believed to correspond with vital organs and stuff like that. And I don't know whether or not, you know, I don't know the science behind that, but it is effective. I'll tell you that, because I felt immediately better after that massage, although I felt pretty high, which is like high and dopey in a weird way, which is pretty typical if you have a lot of gunk in your muscles. Like if you work out really hard, or if like me, you had a lot of like gnarly ass muscle tension, and then you have a deep massage, it's going to move a lot of the waste products that have accumulated in your cells and your muscles around, and basically start to metabolize those. And in doing that, you're going to feel like out of it for a little while, and you got to hydrate, and you got to like just sort of wait through it. So I felt fine out. I felt like normal again after a couple of hours, but for the first like hour or so, I felt like I was in a zone. It was actually a great feeling, to tell you the truth. My mobility in my neck was better as soon as he was done. And that's pretty awesome. Usually you can feel effects of a massage, like the more dramatic effects like that, a day or two later, but I could feel it right away. And he went pretty intensely. I indicated to him that I wanted the most pressure, and it was pretty painful at times, but like what I think I needed. My neck is more mobile. My back pain is almost gone. I mean, I could still feel the muscle tension here and there in my back, and especially in my sides. I wonder if other people get that too, other drivers, like the lower back on the sides, sort of in your obliques muscles. But my feet, dude, my feet get very sore from driving, and I believe that is because of the poor blood circulation. So you get like an accumulation of blood in your feet, you know? Wow, my feet feel so much better, except my toe that I stubbed yesterday. So my long story short that I wanted to say for this, man, this video is getting too long, but I wanted to say I cannot recommend enough massage therapy. And sometimes I daydream about what it would be like if I could design truck stops. And I would incorporate elements that are kind of like what you would find at like a Whole Foods market, like a hot bar that has fresh food that is freshly prepared, and a variety of like comfort food and like some healthier options, because you should have some comfort food there too. Like everyone needs some fucking pot roast sometimes, right? And mashed potatoes or roasted chicken, another favorite for me. But there would be a salad bar where you have like a wide variety of fresh options. Maybe there would be some fucking fresh pressed juice there. There would be massage therapy available. You know, like I wish truck stops were more inclusive of different products and services that encourage truckers to take care of themselves. And I also, if I was, you know, the end all be all designer of truck stops, I would make them so they had plenty of space so people don't have to be stressed about parking all the time. I think that truck stops should be more of an actual oasis from the stress of our days, rather than a place that just reinforces stress, which is what they tend to be. So yeah, massage therapy on site available, because a lot of truck drivers deal with chronic pain and health issues as a result of our jobs. Also of equal importance, a lot of truckers spend a lot of time away from any type of physical contact, and touch is important to our health. Even receiving touch in the form of massage, a lot of men have a hard time with that, which I always think is unfortunate, because we all, any gender we are, we have nerve endings, and we have like muscles, and we have bones, and we have bodies. Like we all experience the same types of issues related to sensation, and we all need therapeutic touch. It's really important to our overall health. So that's my, the more you know, every time, right? That's pretty much all I got. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you're having a good day wherever you are and staying safe out there, and I will catch you on the next one.